Good afternoon. How's everybody today?
Great.
So I'm going to jump right into it. So I'm sure you guys, gals, and everyone says, oh, wow, role playing. This is the perfect opportunity for me to practice my craft, get better, hear myself, understand where I fall short, and show up this with enthusiasm, excitement, and lots of energy, said no person ever. Nobody wants to do this. Let's all be serious. And the interesting thing is, it's natural. And I always share these Kobe Bryant stories. And here's another one to set some context for today. There was, I think, whether the guy was a reporter, a marketer, some sort of thing. He was in a basketball camp with Kobe Bryant. And so he said, hey, Kobe, would you mind if I watch you practice? He said, sure, no problem. He says, you can meet me at the gym at 4:30. So the guy gets in his taxi or Uber, or whatever it is, tries to get there at 4, and Kobe's already there practicing. So, he got there an hour before. And he's sitting there for a couple hours watching. And he said the most interesting thing happened. It's like I watched him do the most basic drills, like the same things that high school kids do. And so he goes to the league, the clinic, and at the end of the camp, he says, can I ask you a question? And he says to Kobe, he goes, you're the greatest basketball player in the world. Why are you doing the same basic drills as high school kids over and over and over again? Kobe smiles at him and says, why do you think I'm the best in the world? Because he does the same basic things over and over and over again. And the reality is, NAR claims to be a parent organization, so we could just blame our parents for this one and then blame ourselves second. But they never told you this. And the biggest challenge that you guys all have, guys, gals, everybody, is you guys are in denial that you're salespeople. Complete denial. I'm an advisor, I'm a consultant. No, what you do is you're a salesperson. How you carry your job out is different. You can be a salesperson and carry your job out as a consultant, as an advisor, but at the end of the day, you're still a salesperson. And salespeople get paid money to talk to people. And if you don't get on board with this, you're going to have a problem. If you do get on board, you'll be rich. There's my world splitting in two with all of the things that are coming up. Now, here's the interesting thing. We all go through the same challenges every day, but for some strange reason, no one wants to write any of them down and practice them. It's crazy. We had a mother and daughter on this morning. So are there any mother-daughter teams here, or father, son, parent, child? Anybody? Unmute, hit yes and yes if it's the case. Anybody? Father, daughter. Okay. So Philip and Ariana, unmute yourself.
Hi, this is Ariana.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
All right, let's spotlight them. Okay. So where is Philip? I know you're here.
Honestly, we're both on our way getting ready for a trip to the East Coast for a wedding, a family wedding. So that's why I'm not on camera. I'm in the middle of packing.
That's okay. You're still here, but where's Philip? Is your dad here?
Phil is on his way to the airport. He's going in a day earlier than me.
Okay, well then you're going to answer this question for both of you. When you were a kid, did you play? How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate for about 7 years.
7 years. And how long has your dad been in real estate?
20 plus. And
does your dad practice every day?
Practice specifically, a time blocked section to do that, no. But practice in real life, like he's constantly on the phone, real life practicing these things.
Yeah, they say so. Here's the point that I want to make to you. It's okay. I'm not asking you to talk ill of your dad. Here's the crazy thing. Dad's been in the business 21 years. She's been in the business 7 years. She practices an hour a day for 7 straight days. She's already practiced and will probably be better at talking about this stuff than someone who's done it 20 plus years. That's the crazy part about this. Now, when you were a kid, did you play any sports?
Yes, I did. I played soccer, cheerleader, and a dancer. So a lot.
Now, if you were doing those sports, was there ever a point where you said that you didn't feel like going to practice, or why do I have to do this? What did your dad say to you at those points?
I think he was pretty lenient, only because I was a good kid and I usually was the one who wanted to be at everything and, had FOMO if I wasn't there. Um, but, he usually left it up to me.
And in the end, most parents will tell their kids, like, hey, look, if you want what you want, you'll go to practice, right? As parents, we don't, I would say, we want to give our kids the freedom to make choices, but we guide them in which way to go. So thank you. So the result of what I'm trying to get you to is, number one, if there's one thing that you can learn from Robert Refkin, is never get too comfortable with where you are. There is someone always waiting to knock you off your ass. And in this market, someone can practice for a week and be better equipped to have a conversation than you can in 20 years. That's crazy, right? So the first thing in anything is why. Why do I need to practice? Well, look, the way that this landscape is changing, the most valuable skill any agent can have is clearly and concisely sharing their value proposition. Understanding how to talk to people. And as you can see, I've gone in around pretty much half the country, 2,500 agents, 12 people practice 5 or more hours. So assume each agent has 10 years of real estate. That's 25,000 hours of real estate experience. And I guarantee you in those 25,000 years of real estate experience, there's not 500 hours of practice. Isn't that crazy? So here's a few things that you guys want to all start doing. Number one, you need to start cataloging everything that comes up. What do your clients ask you all the time? What are your biggest challenges, right? What are your objections? An objection is nothing more than a clarifying question. It means whatever you said before that you thought someone else understands, they did not understand. And if you don't know how to talk to people in practice, you're going to sound like this. John at Discount Realty would do it for 1% less. Well, like if he's going to do it for a percent less, if he's going to negotiate your commission, how well do you think he'll negotiate your home? Well, if people discount the services, you're going to be missing out on things. Why would you don't want to sound like that. That sounds defensive. That sounds too car salesman-y. And the smarter the clients are not going to care because they're going to turn around and saying, so what you're saying is, because someone chooses to work under different compensation, which is still really high, you mean that they're just not going to work? It becomes subjective. Now, if you practice, you can sound like this. So what I hear you saying is you want to maximize the equity in your home, correct? Yeah, exactly. So look, if whatever you decide to do is support you 100%, but if you're happy with John, his services, and what he has to offer, as well as what you're going to pay him, your time's very valuable. What specifically had you invite me over here this evening? And you put it back on them. But that comes with practice. And when you say these things with confidence, people are like, he or she has a point. And now you're able to get into this. So a couple of things, and we'll walk you through the framework for this. Number one, you need to document and catalog everything. The objections don't change, do they? People have been telling you the same thing since the beginning of time. Sorry, somehow the air cut off. I need to open the door again. I have OCD, so seeing like a door like that just kind of drives me crazy. Side note. Number two is understanding the difference between an objection and a condition. My favorite thing is, how do you get buyers to buy in this market if they don't want to buy? The last time I checked, buying or selling a home is a choice. And once you understand it's a choice, and you're no longer attached to the outcome. So something magical can happen. So an objection. My buddy Justin Martinez comes to my house this morning. We're scheduled to go for a 3.5 mile run. It's pouring rain outside. Justin, I want to go. So why not? It's raining. That's an objection. He comes the next day. My back is blown out from doing squats. I can't get out of bed. I'm stuck. I physically can't move. You want to go running today? It's not raining. No, dude, I'm stuck in bed. That's a condition. So when people are talking to you, you need to understand through practicing and understand the dialogues, the difference between objection and condition. Number three, you need to open your eyes and realize that this is a difference in what you have and what you want. The difference between the life you have and the life you want is called decision. And the decision we all need to make today is a decision to take 30 minutes a day and practice our most important conversations. What are you going to say when a seller says to you, and if anyone's ever thought about this, I've read and I've seen these things about not offering compensation. David, why would I offer a buyer compensation through the MLS when I can negotiate every offer on a case-by-case basis? What would you say to somebody to that? What do you say when you're a buyer and says, all right, like I won't pay you money, but whatever you could get from the seller, I'm good with. You're going to go out with these people? How are you going to explain your value? I shared this with you, either you guys or the other call. I have a realtor I work with here in Westport, Karen Scott. If I had to pay Karen a check, like a check in buying a house, I would, because I see the value in her services. Because she's clear in what she offers me and I've experienced the value already. So I'm not buying a house without her. And if I had to pay, I would pay. But it's an investment because I see the value in it and she's good at communicating what she does and following through. Now, if you have this weird, does anyone have like this weird gut feeling like, oh my God, this is crazy, but it's true? Anybody? And if you don't, and you're not freaked out the slightest bit, then you need to look in the mirror twice. Because none of you practice, none of you are salespeople, none of you understand how to do this. And if somebody literally practiced for 2 straight weeks, an hour to 2 hours a day, they could go on a listing pitch and smoke you because they'll be able to communicate with the client in a much more effective way. So therefore, that feeling of trust and rapport that's built through interaction and engagements, another person can just take your client. Because they know how to listen better, they know how to engage more, and they've done the conversation so many times that they feel good about it. Don't you want to win? Who wants to win? This is how we win over and over and over again. Think about it. Where are you going to get in this business without talking to people? What are you going to do with all these leads you have if you don't talk to them? How are you going to convert? How are you going to close? So now we're going to talk about skill stacking. Skill stacking is how you build these things up one by one by one by one. So what is the most, I'll let you guys guess, what is the most important skill to own right now? The most important skill to own is your value proposition. However, you can't share your value proposition in the right context if you don't know how to med see somebody. The whole point of the med see is understanding what somebody wants so they can meet them there. So great carpenters have a set of tools, but depending on what they're building, they use the tools differently. So once you get through the med see, you'll know exactly what somebody wants so you can meet them where they are. How many people think they have this mastered? Hit yes if you feel you're a master. So look, what does mastery look like? It looks like I could ask anyone like in a sentence, hey, moving is exciting about paying taxes, something no one wants to do, but something you have to do. So Mary Murphy, what makes this the right time to make a move? She's going to tell me what it is and everything else like that and say, great. So what you're really looking for is this. And when you get there, what are you most excited about happening? Oh, great. And is this what you're excited about happening as a result? And what are your expectations of an agent you partner with? Oh, so this is what you're looking for in an agent. Anything else you want to add? No. Last one, what past disappointments you've had with agents and service providers in the past so that we ensure that they don't happen so we can meet and exceed your expectations? Unless you do have any concerns. And in the end, when you're really good at doing this because you practice, now when you're able to say, hey, Mary, I want to make sure that I listened and heard everything you said in your own words correctly. Your motivation is you're looking to move with your husband to Florida because you're retiring. What you're most excited about is not paying New York City tax and the savings and state income tax. You go on all these vacations you wanted. Your expectations of an agent is someone who's an excellent communicator with a written marketing plan. It's going to show you how to maximize your equity. Your past disappointments were around non-structured communication because your husband gets anxiety when he doesn't know what's happening next. And ultimately, your concern is moving to South Florida because the market's really busy and finding a home before you have to move. Is there anything else you want to add? And I just want to make sure I listened to that all correctly. Once you're able to do that, you own the prospect. That's it. So who here knows how to practice? Oh, good. I'm going to call on a couple of you today to do this together. Number one, a role play group is a form of extreme accountability. Number two, if people are in the group and they're using it time for market chatter, complaining about clients, trying to solve their personal deals, give them a warning and then kick them out. So if you have any interest in being one of these, oh yeah, like I got this going on, this helped me, and there's 10 other people on the call, have a 30-minute session after for coffee, and then everyone can sit there and talk about whatever they want. But this 30 minutes of practice is sacred. Sacred. Number two, show up prepared with your camera on, engaged, dressed. Don't look like you rolled out of bed unless it's like, in the morning you're trying to do it before you have like family stuff. Number three, take this seriously. You do not want to practice on your prospects. It is a terrible business model. Number four, you are not there to make people feel good. You're there to be their colleague and give them carefrontation. Carefrontation is confronting somebody because you care. So if they did a bad job, say, cherish hope. You did a bad job, Chirag. Like, you don't have to say it like that. Hey, there are definitely some bumps, and on my end, this is how I felt. Number four, keep doing it over and over and over again until you get it to mastery, and you need to know what that looks like. Number five, the next thing that comes is the next skill. And we'll give you that next skill. We will be doing live role play sessions as well, too. Let me get Martha's email. Give me 1 second. So Martha is an agent who generally sits on both sessions. I'm sure you've probably seen it here. She's going to start a big accountability group and split people up. And we're going to support her in it. So who's interested in joining a role play group? Everyone should raise their hand. And if not, find a partner somewhere. So take her email and email her. I put it in the chat. All right, 2 people. Who wants to role play the Med C? And I can actually give you feedback on what this would look like. And Jim Dickinson has a great group going as well. So if you want to join his group, join his group. If you want to join a group with a whole different set of people, then join the other one. But either way, you have to join somewhere. Think about it. If you practice 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, That's 10 hours a month times 5 months left in the year. That's 50 hours. You win. And by the way, for all the buyer's agent stuff that everyone's worried about, it's like somebody that's been paranoid about the world ending and now the world's ending. I got the bunker, I got the hatch, I got the food, I got everything. So you guys can all come to my bunker and like we can all grow in this together. But do not worry. Everything you need is already done and it's here and we're happy. So who are two people that are going to practice? Just unmute yourself and we'll spotlight you. All right, I'm going to start calling on people. Brad?
Yeah, I'll practice with you, Chirag.
All right, cool. So I'm going to be the seller and you can be the agent. And you're going to
use your script. Okay. So Chirag, I have a few important questions to ask you so we can focus on having the conversation you want to have when we're together based on what's most important to you. Is now a good time?
Yeah, that'd be great. How can I help you?
Well, what's your motivation for making a move at this time?
You know, I've lived in New York City and the taxes are so high. You know, the city's definitely changed since I moved here. So we're also looking to get to warmer climates as my partner and I are looking to retire.
Got it. So you're looking to move to Florida, or you're looking to move out of New York City, basically, to save on taxes. What are you most excited about happening as a result of this move?
You know, my partner and I, her and I really love traveling. And since the city prices, since this New York City tax is so high, the savings we'll get from not paying city tax plus no state income tax in Florida allows us to go on all the vacations we've always wanted to go on.
Wow. Yeah, I get it. I've lived in New York City. I understand. So this will help you save on taxes, so you'll be able to travel more, right?
Yes.
What are your expectations of an agent you partner with for the sale of your home?
You know, communication and somebody that actually has a plan. Like we need to understand what's going on and what their plan is.
Great. So what I hear is most important to you is an agent who has a strong marketing plan to get you the best price for your home, and an agent who provides excellent customer service through communication, right?
Yep.
For me to exceed your expectations, I'd like to know about what past disappointments you may have had with agents or any service providers. This will ensure I don't repeat any of those poor experiences.
You know, the last agent was great, but my partner, she had extreme anxiety because we had no idea what's going on. We kept having to chase our agent for updates. So even though they sold their house or above asking, the experience was really bad for us.
Got it. So what I hear is that communication is one of the most important things for you. And regardless of how good a job we do selling your home, if we don't communicate thoroughly through the process, it will be a bad experience for you.
Exactly.
Lastly, do you have any concerns about putting your home on the market at this time and moving?
No, we understand it's going to sell quickly. Really, the only concern we have is South Florida is extremely competitive. So we need to find an agent and we want to buy a home before we move because we don't need the equity from our house to buy.
I see. So your concern is being able to find and secure the right place to move. Is that something you feel more comfortable with if it accounted for prior to listing your home on the market?
Yes.
Got it. I want to be able to make sure I listen to you carefully and let me know if I let anything out. Your main motivation of moving to Florida is to save on taxes. And you're most excited about saving on taxes so that you may be able to retire or to travel more. And your expectations of an agent is an agent who has a robust marketing plan, is an excellent communicator. Your past disappointments you would like to avoid are not having clear communication throughout the process. And your main concern is having a place to go since the Florida market is so competitive, in particular, the South Florida market. Did I leave anything out?
No. So what does the survey say? How good of a job did he do? Solid. So ready? This is what I'm going to tell you. Your voice, you're reading, right? So now when you do this 100 times, you're going to be able to fly through this and it's going to be more conversation.
Yep. Thanks, Char.
Dude, he nailed it. You see how good of a job he did? That's what success looks like. So when I said you get to a place, if you build the skill and then you move on, when he's able to do that whole thing, it's gonna be more natural and conversational to him, and he doesn't need the script, and he feels good talking about it, where it's not like, I could hear in his voice, like he was kind of very firm. Or if this is how he talks, I'd say, look, I'm gonna ask you a set of questions. You might think they're very firm, but really it's in essence understanding everything that's important to you, so I can curate an experience based on your personal goals, needs, wishes, and desires. Always needs to be in benefit to them. Now, if you did a bad job, I would say, Brad, when you did this, any point that you could share, like, oh, this is what we do for you. This is how, like, this is not your place to talk about what you're going to do. So Brad's in Jim's group. So put Jim's email in there and some people can reach out to Jim. So look, that's what we got for today. So quick recap. Number one, you need this skill. Number two, practice the skill. Number three, do it for 30 minutes a day. Number four, document everything. Measure what matters and it can grow. Don't measure what matters. You're leaving everything to chance. All right, everybody, get on your horses and get moving. Like, this is not going to be fun. You're not going to want to do this. You're not going to hear what you need to even sound like, and that's exactly why I need to do it. So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all, and I shall see you all soon. Bye, everybody.